Hello, fifth. It's the Poo Guru again. I'm adding a second part to the beginning of who is the Poo Guru. So I'm going to have to dig way down into the archives of my memory and pull out a bunch of stuff. I have made some notes, you know, just kind of show you. Oh, that sun's bright today, but I like it. I like the sun. It's great. So I'm just going to be recalling a whole bunch of memories, no particular order, just whatever happens to come to mind from my notes, and we'll go from there. I do want to go ahead and say this. I'm not here to dime anybody out. I'm not here to cause trouble. I've said it in one of my other videos. I'm not here to pick a fight. I'm here to solve a problem. But in this particular case, the problem is I've got to tell my story. And the only way to tell it is to tell it, obviously. So, for my 4 older brothers and my mother and any of the rest of my family and friends, I'm going to do my best not to mention names or aliases or any other kind of crazy identities that you have. Will I change names if I actually do have to mention something other? I don't know. I'll have to double check to make sure if I can or can't go from here. I'm not here to intentionally piss off anybody. Of course, I don't give a damn if you get mad or not. That's on you. It's none of my damn business. So you just had to suck it up, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go with my notes, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about who the Poo Guru is. I remember at a young age, I don't know, I was probably less than 5, that I came up to my mother before school one morning, and I was like, Mom, check it out, what can I do? I can count to 100. And I sat right there before we went to school, and I counted from 0 to 100. Everybody was impressed with it. I don't know. It's just one of the memories. I remember even younger than that, and my brother was telling me that, you know, whenever I was a little child, like a baby, that I would always cry. If my mom didn't hold me the entire time, I was just crying, and that was the only way to shut me up. I was a baby. I don't know. But you know, after that, whenever I started recalling memories and stuff, I do remember pitching a fit to get my way, and it worked. And yeah, that's not good, folks. That's not good at all, because you don't pitch a fit and you get your way. That ain't how the world's supposed to work. Does it work for some people? Yeah. Why? I don't know. Don't care. I try not to pitch a fit very much anymore. It don't do me no good. Just makes me look like a stupid asshole. A whiny little titty baby. Haircuts. Haircuts. Yeah, when we got haircuts, it was either just skin it off with scissors or a buzzer or whatever. We rarely actually went to the barber shop. Usually my mom would wait about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, and then she'd take whatever mop was on our head that looked ridiculous and just shave it off. I didn't know any better. I was a kid, but I look back at it and I was like, Mom, come on, man. No, that ain't how you're supposed to raise kids. Yeah. Getting made fun of at school because your hair is all jacked up and shit. I remember Mom having some big white buckets with, like, I want to say it was rice in it, and inside the rice, I guess to keep it dry and stuff, and moisture out of it, she had a whole bunch of different kinds of candy. I never did sneak in there to try to get it, but I knew it was there, but I don't know, I just wasn't putting it together so that I could go in there and just eat it anytime I wanted to whenever she wasn't in there. But the buckets were in her bedroom, along with all the other crap that she was hoarding that she didn't need. Tons worth of papers and magazines and craft junk and whatnot that she never did use. I really think that my mom was a hoarder. Why? I have no idea. I refuse to be a hoarder. About once every 6 months or so, maybe even a year, I go through my stuff, and I haven't used it for a while, or I don't have a use for it, or I can't think of a use for it. I get rid of it. I trash it, I give it away, I sell it, whatever. I just get rid of it. I don't need it, I get rid of it. Now mind you, I do have a lot of stuff that people would look at and they say, oh, that's junk. No. If I've got it, 9 times out of 10, there's a good reason I've got it, and that I know another purpose for it. But back to my mom being a hoarder. Apparently she hoarded trash too, because like I said in the previous video, whenever the housing authority would come around to inspect the houses, I think she would get a notice and she would tell us like the day before to do that haul ass, hurry up, let's get it fucking clean now, or else they're gonna kick us out. Well, this was all less, you know, this was all happening before I was even 8 years old. And I remember having to just grab a trash bag and just whatever was on the floor, just start picking it up. Oh, the kitchen was the worst though. Trash can be full of maggots, flies everywhere. Oh, the smell was atrocious. And no, we shouldn't have had to live like that. Oh, speaking of trash cans. I don't ever remember having a quality pool to swim in during the summer. So I asked Mom one day, I said, Mom, I said, can I wash out the trash can? You know, those big old trash cans like you set up beside the road that the trash man comes and picks up. So can I wash it out, put water in it, and swim in it? God, I was an idiot. I could have died from whatever was in that trash can. Mom didn't give a shit. She let me do it. And I did it. I swam in it and didn't give a shit. Might be why I don't get as sick as I do nowadays, as other people do nowadays. My immune system is pretty fucking tough. And I keep it that way. I exercise the shit out of my immune system. So, yeah. All these people telling you gotta go to the doctor for this and that and the other. Ladies and gentlemen, I haven't been to the freaking doctor in over 2 years. No, probably longer than that. Probably 3 years. If I get a cold, I usually suffer through it, or just, you know, maybe treat the symptoms and let my body fight off that strain of the cold so that next time it comes around, I don't get sick from it. Getting sick though as a kid, I remember bronchitis a lot, and I remember strep throat a lot. The conditions we were living in does not surprise me that I was always sick, because I've made notes about, you know, where I've lived since then and how other people had lived and the conditions they lived in, and it's clicking in here, you know. Okay, if you're living in a shithole of a house, you don't keep it clean, you're gonna stay sick. Now, I ain't saying you gotta go sanitize everything and Clorox the counters and all that other shit. Come on, man, that's stupid. Don't do that. until I was an adult, I don't remember my mom having a car. If we had to go anywhere, we either walked, or I would ride my bicycle if she would let me at the time, or if I even had one, or we would grab a taxi. One of the probably 2 taxis that were in that particular town that we lived in. It was a small town, and I remember quite a few times taxi rides. And at one point, I know the lady driving the taxi, this was her own personal car, and I don't know how she did it, the tax write-offs, etc., whatever, don't care. But I remember we were at a fast food restaurant in the drive-thru ordering food, and out of nowhere her car caught on fire underneath the damn thing. And I mean, they called the fire department. Now mind you, I was a little bitty kid, and I remember this is like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? It's gonna explode, we're all gonna die. Freaking out. No. Never remembered mom having a car until I got to be an adult. So that's that little bit. Now mind you, all of this that I'm telling you is prior to me being 8 years old, best I can remember, and the first house / apartment that we lived in. And flies. And some of my timelines might be a little bit mixed up on when and where I was and what I was doing, but don't get bent out of shape over it. So hang on a minute, I'm gonna have to edit this out. Alright, got my coffee, I'm good now. Let's back to it. Let's see, I was talking about no cars. Alright, done with the cars. Let's talk about going to Granny's house. My grandmother, she lived, just guessing, maybe 5 miles away, and I don't ever remember how we got over there. Maybe somebody took us in their car or something, who knows. But we would go over there on Sundays every now and again for Sunday dinner. She would cook. She always kept an immaculate house. I wished I could have known more about her and what her life was all about and everything. I remember it was almost like a subdivision, but it was duplexes, brick duplexes. It was like a nicer part of the projects, I guess is what we called it. But they were out in like a circle, almost. Well, it's more like a rectangle, and there were kids, like a playground out back, a jungle gym, and a merry-go-round, all kinds of stuff like that. But because of the neighborhood, idiot adults would get out there and drink and break glass bottles and do other stupid, crazy shit out there. I remember we went over to Granny's house. I don't remember how old I was, maybe 5 or 6, and it might have been 4 or 5. It's like, Mom, I want to go outside and play. I want to go outside and play. I want to go outside and play. And finally she's like, all right, go, get away from me, go play. I took off out the back door, hauling ass towards that merry-go-round or whatever it was. Tripped on something, don't know what it was, and sliced my left hand open. I doubt you can see it, but right there's the little bitty scar, right there, somewhere in there. It sliced my hand open, big old flap of skin. I come running back, or somebody was carrying me back or something or other. I don't know if my brothers were out there. And we went to the hospital. I don't remember if I've got stitches in that one or not. I think it just kind of laid it open and they just put it back, put like the steri strips on it and gauze and shit like that. I remember having to change the bandages every once in a while, but other than that, not really much else. Don't remember a whole lot else about Granny's house. Except that, you know, I mean, typical 60, 70-year-old single woman, you know, that's how they keep their houses. Pretty freaking nice. Not really many other memories about her, you know, except for her on her deathbed, basically. You know, sad time. Of course, I was so young, I didn't really know. So we're gonna move on from there. I'm gonna talk about my brothers and some of their friends a little bit. It's not gonna be super detailed, but I'm gonna go into it a little bit. The next oldest brother, he was always into, I want to say military stuff, but he was always out in the woods doing stuff, you know, I guess survival type stuff. I don't really know. He was always in camouflage and junk like that. And I remember him digging big old pits, or he was talking about he dug big old pits out there where he would hang out in the woods. And I got to go out there with him a couple times, you know, swing on the vines and hang out. And, you know, he was trying to teach me, but I was a little bitty fella, and a lot of it didn't process, you know. I didn't understand why he was doing a lot of it, but whatever. The two oldest brothers moved out before we moved out of this particular house and projects. And the oldest one, right now, he has mental disorders. I'm not going to go into details, so fuck you. If you want to know, go look it up your damn self. I'm not going to tell you. But he got in with a group of people and moved out. Me personally, I call them religious nuts. I think they're fucking stupid. So I think they helped warp his brain a little bit more than what it already was. Had him thinking all kind of stuff. I don't even know. I didn't see him again until probably 3 or 4 years later. He moved back in with us. And that's going to be on another video. I'll explain that more. The next oldest brother, the one that was always in camouflage and stuff like that, I don't remember where he moved out. I think he moved out with some good friends, parents or something other. He wanted to get out of the house just like the oldest one, and I don't blame him. The conditions we were living in were just atrocious. I didn't see him for a while either. So the middle brother out of all of us, he was there. He was just kind of stuck. He couldn't go anywhere. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with him. We didn't really talk a whole lot. We still don't talk a whole lot, and that's just the kind of relationship we have right now. Will it get better or worse? Don't know. Time will tell. So the next youngest one, the one that's about 4 years older than I am, he would go and stay with his dad on like the weekends or every other weekend or something other. I think that was the legal court agreement or whatever, you know. I was too young to understand the process back then, but whenever he was about 12, I think, 11 or 12, the court gave him the option to live with us or go live with his dad. He said, fuck it, I'm out. I'm going to live with dad. So he did. He moved out. So at this point, it was just my mom, me, and the middle brother out of the 5 living there. And shortly thereafter, I think we moved out somewhere else. But my brothers, the 3 oldest ones, they had another friend that lived, if you were looking out our front door, if you looked off to the left about 2 houses down the street, we were right at an intersection, but 2 houses down the street on the left, I think, 2 or 3, was his house. And I don't remember a whole lot about him from that part of my childhood. I do remember that he was always into like martial arts type stuff, and bless his heart, he's always been a big fella, and I try not to hold that against him at all. You know, some people are just built genetically different than others, and you know, as far as I know, he's always struggled with his weight. You know, if there was something I could do to help him do what he could, or let me back up. If there was something I could do to help him achieve his goal, to get him to whatever weight he was, I would have done it. I'm that kind of guy. And wouldn't ask him for nothing in return. So, but he was pretty cool. I didn't get to hang out with him much. As years went by, you know, we kept in touch-ish through my brothers, and you know, he would hang out every now and again with my brothers, and I'd see him and whatnot. And maybe sooner or later we'll all, you know, get together and hang out again and catch up, and you know, they can cuss me out or talk shit or whatever to my face about these videos that I'm making if there's anything that offends them. If it offends you, man, like I've said before, think about why it's offending you. So I know there was another set of friends. They lived over close to where my granny lived, and we would go over there every now and again. And that particular friend, he's a tall, skinny dude. He was a trip. He would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, 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 just like his grandmother. Shh, bless her heart, she never shut up that I know of. And I think she was that was just who she was, you know. She was just a talker, whether anybody was listening or not. I don't hold that against her. I ain't trying to make her sound, you know, bad or nothing, or him. They were just talkers. Some people are, some people ain't. Some people are in between. Fuck it. Do it to it. I don't remember many other friends of theirs. I think really the only friend that I had at that moment in my life was my mom had a female friend that had a daughter, and I was friends with her daughter, I guess. I vaguely remember her, but I didn't get to see her very much, didn't get to hang out much. I don't know why, whatever. But I didn't really have a whole lot of friends back in that day. Alright, let's see, let's move on to something different. I'm gonna just briefly talk about my dad and stuff a little bit. I know I've already put a bunch of stuff out there that I know of, and I just want to say this to my dad's side of the family. If anybody recognizes me or whatever, or you know, anything to that effect, I don't want to say this harshly, but I'm not looking for anything from you. I mean, if you want to contact me and catch up with me, cool. You know, we can go from there. I'm almost 36 years old, and ain't none of y'all tried to contact me, and I probably have had the resources, but you know, I don't know. My dad especially. I don't know what your malfunction was. I don't know if it was mom. I don't even know if you're still alive. And at this point, I don't give a shit. You've waited 36 years. You had plenty of opportunities to contact me. Shame on you. You know, if mom had like a restraining order or something out on you, whatever, man. You could have tracked me, or you know, whenever I turned 18 or something other, you could have contacted me. Now, I don't know what kind of person you were or are, but if it was my mother holding you back, then you got bigger problems. So, anywho, as for my dad's side of the family, I'm going to leave it with you. If you decide that you want to contact me or whatever, on your head be it. It's not that I don't want anything to do with you. Would I like to know who my dad's side of the family is? Sure. But I'm at a point in my life where I don't give a shit. I'm not going to go chasing you. And I'm not going to regret it. So I think I'm going to leave it with that. I think the next video that I do is going to be after we move out of the projects, and I'm going to, the closer I get to now, the more memories I remember, but the videos may get longer, they may not, I don't know. I may break them down into different parts, but I think for the most part, I think the videos are going to be based on where I was living and what happened during that time period. So stay tuned for more videos. Or not. It's your choice. I can't make you do nothing. And if anybody else out there is watching this and you want to make a comment about all the uhs and ands and ums and dead silences and all this other shit, I got one word for you. With that, Poo Guru signing off.